the wizard you met with. This is the Duke, and on the left is Duke Silvershield, who you guys are about to meet. You haven't actually spoken to yet. It's a Melvin Tarsigan talking to him. On the right is older Ravengard, the new Marshal of the Flaming Fist. And this is... she introduced herself as Rail, Rilsa Rail. Okay. So yeah, there's the three of them. Four of them.
Oh, and that's the one we met. Sorry, I was trying to get your screen.
Yep.
Cool. I know who that is.
You do. Okay, so let's do the recap. Let's start with you guys can see it Discord stream here. So I guess let's start here furthest to the east. Zashar and Diabroth met with the new Marshal of the Flaming Fist, who took over mere, minutes ago or an hour ago with the death of the Duke, who was also Duke Adrian, who was also the leader of the Flaming Fist, the mercenary army of Baldur's Gate. And in his meeting, he said he wants to find out who killed the Duke, but he very heavily suspects that it was somebody related to the guild, the Thieves Guild that operates from Outer City. And his first step, which he extended an invitation to both of them and any of the rest of the party who was interested, since you all kind of proved yourselves as potential heroes and people of kind of skills he's looking for, skills and mindset he's looking for, to join the Flaming Fist. He offered you positions within the mercenary army and kind of explained that this would be sort of like a temporary assignment just during this time of crisis. Once it's over, he understands you may move on from the city, that's fine. He just giving you that kind of temporary position within the army can give you certain privileges, such as being able to pass through checkpoints a little more freely and having some authority to do certain investigations. But Diabroth and Zashar both said that they would kind of take that back to the rest of the party to discuss. He also did say that his first plan, the first thing he plans to do, tomorrow, is crack down, in fact, shut down a couple of the low-life...
The hell?
Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to find the mute button.
Okay.
People, well, there's some sort of, nationalist celebration going on out here.
Okay. No worries. But he said he wanted to shut down a couple, low-life gambling dens, one in the docks area, the Low Lantern, and another place that's in Little Calensham. And he hoped that you would agree to take part in this. So that was them. I guess both of them are now on their way back to where you guys had all kind of agreed to meet at the Blade and Stars. Although there's a possibility that the folks in Upper City might secure accommodations at one of the nicer places in Upper City, but just in case you guys can't get back in, because it is shut down at this time of night, you talked about just meeting at the Blade of Stars here in Lower City, East Way. Meanwhile, in Little Calensham, Zeal and Jay met with a mysterious individual who kind of bailed Zeal out of getting caught in Upper City by the city guard, which I guess I don't know if any of you actually observed the trouble that he kind of got in.
I
after
don't
the
think
battle?
so. No.
No, not in character. I don't think so.
Hey, look, there's some spam in Twitch chat. Going to ban this person. Haha.
Whoa.
I wanted to see the stamp. Actually, message Louis.
It was like, hey, you can buy followers for your channel at this website.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Get rid of them.
Well, yeah, in character, I don't think any of them knew what happened. But the group saw what I did at the gate, or I had to move it along.
Well, they wanted to talk to you because the party, I guess, pointed out that you were involved with you're part of the group and you helped out in the fight, and they just wanted to, like everybody there, the city guard was kind of just getting a full statement from everybody and what happened because they want to basically investigate how the dude died, and you were the nearest witnesses who helped fight against the assassin. But when they found him, they kind of saw through his disguise and saw that he was somebody they recognized as a resident of Upper City. The city guard, even though they're like 1,000 strong, are all trained very thoroughly to recognize every single resident of the Upper City, so that they know basically who is actually allowed to be in there after hours, because the gates close to non-residents at like 7 or 8 p.m. But before he got caught, and they were like, they said specifically like, hey, your father's been looking for you. Why don't you come with us? And they were going to like escort him back to his house. But a merchant made a distraction and like pretended that a cart fell on him and gave him a chance to get away. And
oh, you knew that merchant, huh? I thought that was just random happenstance.
That's great that you thought that. Yeah, that same guy spoke in Thieves' Camp to Zeal and said, meet me at Little Callum Shan, bring anyone you can trust. And he brought Jay along. So Jay and Zeal met with this guy who then took off his disguise and revealed himself to be this woman, Rael. And she proceeded to talk a little bit about the guild, explain who they are, and made an argument that the guild is representing kind of the forgotten and underprivileged inhabitants of the Upper City. It kind of explained how the Flaming Fist and the City Watch only really protect the people within the city gates, yet there's all these other people that work and provide income and economic progress to the city, and yet receive no protection from the city guard. They're taxed entering and leaving the city to their jobs. A lot of people in Outer City work in the Lower City, where they're like dock workers. They work many of the shops in town, and yet they've basically have everything against them as far as again, like the taxes and the laws and their opportunities. So they've kind of been forced to provide their own security for their people, and they've sort of had like a Robin Hood-esque plan where they want to hit one of these tax collectors, specifically the one at Basilisk Gate, the entrance in between Lower City and Outer City. There's a toll collector there who is especially harsh, follows the letter of the law, probably even beyond what it should be for squeezing every copper they can out of people that come out of the gate. There's specific rules as you go in and out for, like, if you're just walking as a person, there's a rate. But then, like if you have carts like merchants, they basically tax and take a portion of your goods if you can't afford it each time you go through. And she has a plan to basically rob that guy because they feel that money rightfully belongs to the people of Outer City. They've been squeezed for too long, too hard. And she knows exactly his route, his hours. He works until like midnight, and she plans to hit him tomorrow, or ask both of you, to hit him tomorrow to corner him in an alley. She suggested a few different places where you can kind of like close off either end of the alley and threaten him and hope. And she highly encouraged you not to like kill anyone, but if you need to draw some blood on the guards just to get him to surrender, take the money and run. And I guess one additional part of that conversation we didn't get to, she would have mentioned, Zeal, that we work together, or she basically says that she's familiar with Zeal, and if he vouches for you, Jay, she'll trust you to help, but she wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more about you, like, and based on what you've heard here, if you'd like to hear it from you, if you agree with their cause, and this is something you think you're really up for helping with.
Oh yeah, I grew up poor in Waterdeep, and definitely hear the cause. I'm up for getting these boots off of people's backs.
She nods and she says, I'm not surprised to hear that. I can tell you. I mean, you looked like somebody who, shall we say, knows the plight of the common man.
That's me.
What a condescending comment.
Well, just look at it.
Goes over my head.
I guess as the conversation wraps up, she says, basically, you work out the details of like when and where. She tells you the route and basically kind of leaves it up to you. She says that, if you need backup, she'll be there, but she thinks that this is well within your capabilities.
Mm.
As you, I guess, leave, she asks like where she can get in contact with you. She wants to know where you're staying. Presumably, you mentioned the Blade and Stars.
But I'll probably spend most of my time in the Elfsong Tavern.
Okay. And she goes on a little diatribe, like, "Oh yeah, Blade and Stars, it's a great place. Elfsong Tavern too." And Jay, you pick up, or sorry, not Jay, Zeal, you pick up when she's kind of talking about the place that she kind of slips in Thieves' Cant, presumably to use Zeal, alley behind Two Bells. And then she says, good luck, and we'll speak tomorrow. Elsewhere, up in Upper City, at the Three Kegs, a super fancy restaurant and tavern, Tars and Imelda have been treated to a super fancy 5-course meal, and
Yes, we have.
wine, and probably have a pretty lengthy meal and discussion with this man Imberlim Skull. Skoon. However it's pronounced. Imberlim Skoond.
So, if I understand correctly, we previously got out of another meeting, right? Or is this still the same first meeting?
This is the same meeting. We'll I guess just talk about what you discussed with him. He like openly commends you for stepping in when you did. Like, it's such a tragedy that Duke Adrian is dead, and his master, he says, is Torlin Silvershield, one of the other 4 dukes of the city, who wanted to meet with you and try to get to the bottom of who killed him. Before you said Silvershield is like busy for a little bit, and is until he gets here is open to, because he understands you're both fairly new to Baldur's Gate, and he asks if you'd like to hear any information about the city, whether you're interested in knowing about the politics, the military, the economy, and basically just kind of get you up to speed of the state of the city. Which I've already kind of done a lot of that out of session, but that's but feel free to ask any questions that you may have about any of that, or the other dude.
Well, I mean, I guess one obvious question to ask would be like, who might have wanted this guy to be dead? But maybe that's a question we should ask his boss. However, I guess it couldn't hurt to see if he has any thoughts on the subject.
Well, his number one suspect would be the guild.
Right. Okay.
Everybody suspects this guild.
I mean, he led the Flaming Fist, who are the guild's greatest adversary. Even though he was considered by many to be sort of a man of the people, who came from a simple life, and he didn't come from nobility, but worked his way up to the position he did. He was well loved by people in general, but it probably was, I don't want to say lax, but turned a blind eye sometimes with the activities of the guild. But regardless, the Flaming Fist in general still was the greatest adversary to these scoundrels. And perhaps taking him out could have been some sort of a message.
Okay.
I believe my Duke Silvershield would probably expand on his thoughts.
Okay.
And with that, I guess he would eventually, when you finish your meal and such, he would stand up and say, the Duke is here, I'll take my leave, and introduce Torlin Silvershield, who steps in and very well dressed, trimmed beard, definitely the picture of what you'd expect for kind of the middle-aged politician of the city. He has, I guess, one notable thing of his attire. He has a holy symbol prominently displayed around his neck, which I think we already resolved a knowledge, religion, or history roll last session. I think Tars rolled high enough to be aware of it. So, Imelda, I'm sure you would too. It's a very common god. It's Gond. Gond is actually a gnomish god, but covers the realm of invention and finance, which kind of makes sense as a god that booming economic city like this might revere.
Okay.
And as he enters the room and greets you, he says, "I'll be forward with you. Our city rots at its core. Who would dare strike such a venerated hero as Duke Adrian with those who swear fealty to dark, evil forces? We've allowed many into our city who seek refuge, and we've graciously opened our doors, but they brought with them a rotten seed, unholy beliefs and foul gods. I intend to sweep their filth from this city and restore Baldur's Gate to its proper place of esteem. People of whom I speak are in league with a cabal of thieves and ruffians known as the Guild. They deserve such a name. The cancerous fingers reach from the gutters all around our most vaunted institutions. Manipulate our markets and shipping, worship unsavory deities, and have powerful cronies in the courts and even in the Flaming Fist. To root them out, I must know who they are. I need someone who can trace the Guild's network and identify its leaders."
Wait a second. If you're saying that you've identified the people who murdered the Duke, and they have all these characteristics, it seems like you've identified them already, haven't you?
We don't know who the leaders of the Guild are. We have our suspicions. We need to apprehend them to learn the truth.
Wait a second. So all the things you were just said about unsavory deities, what is the connection with that and the murder that just happened?
You saw the assassin transform into some foul demon.
That's true.
If, and I believe it's true, it is the case, that this assassin and those thugs were in connection with the Guild, what other explanation could there be that they are involved in some sort of foul, demonic god?
Well, it sounds like you don't really either. It sounds like you've already got this figured out.
If it's true, though, let me take a step back. Duke Adrian was a great man, but he was always in charge of dealing with the Guild and interacting with the Flaming Fist. But with him gone, I don't know there's an opportunity for us, an opportunity to finally root out these criminals. But they've eluded them for months and years. The leadership of this so-called Guild is completely unknown. Any small-time criminals that have ever been apprehended apparently don't know. We've been unable to work up, the chain to the higher up leadership of this Guild. We have leads, and now I believe is the time to strike.
So I'm going to exchange a quick look with Taurus.
I think I'm giving you the same look back. This sounds a little.
The thing is that I can understand where this guy's coming from. Excuse me, sir, forgive the rudeness. I'd just like to just chat with my colleague for one moment.
I understand. Let me just say, I am a very generous patron. I can reward you well with gold, or if you desire, positions of prominence within the city.
What exactly are you asking us to do?
My sources have identified 3 probable agents, and he makes a motion, and Scoon comes back in with some documents, and these are dossiers on the targets. I would like you to assist in apprehending these individuals.
Okay. Well, wait a second. I said okay, I understand that that's what you're requesting, but we can't. We would need to discuss this with our group first to see if we're interested in the job. You see, I used to be a officer of the law in a place, well, somewhat far from here, but we also had the problem of being unable to go up the chain, as you say, and apprehend the people who are really pulling the strings. So I feel for you there, but my goal is to find out who this murderer is. That's my number one priority here.
I agree. Well, I'm saying we have. Well, let me explain a little more.
Yes, please.
He holds on to me. He's like, I'd like to give you these dossiers, but I truly must know if I have your support. I guess I need to know that I'd like to see that you're fully committed, and if that means that you need to speak with your allies and return to me, so be it. However, I feel like time is of the essence. If you were an investigator in another city, I'm sure you'd know the longer you wait, the more the tracks fade.
Yes, that's true.
And I don't see the harm in speaking of terms. First off, if you're in my employ, we can, of course, cover your room and board at any inn within the city. Furthermore, for these individuals, I offer 100 gold per head. I'd say head, I don't know if they're dead, but and that's per person of your group.
So you're saying that you've offered us 3 targets.
That's right.
If we captured all 3 targets, that would be a total of 1,800 gold for us to divide up.
That's right.
We'll consider the offer.
Very good. Do you have any further questions for me, or do you need to retire and speak with your
Is it all right if we consult these dossiers quickly, and or is it okay if we keep them for the time being? Or would you prefer to hang on to this information yourself?
Well, that depends. How confident are that you're willing to work for me? And I should say there's no binding contract here. If you are able to provide results, we will go from there. But if you decide that you're unwilling or unable, I have other agents I can speak with as well.
I have one question. Without divulging the contents of these dossiers too freely, I just want to know, are the suspects people of station in this city?
One is. Yes. In fact, there's one target in each of the 3 cities, as some refer to it. One resides in Upper City, one in Lower, and one in the Outer City. You know what? Here, I'll let you take a look. And he hands over the dossiers, and skimming them over. The Upper City target is He's a merchant who generally has a stall in the wide. He operates daily, named Norland Delusker. And he's a wool trader, and it shows his like hours of operation and like where he generally sets up his stall.
Okay, so that dossier basically just describes how to find him. Like, does it give any information on his background and then like what he's supposedly actually done?
Or are we only allowed to read like the cover page, so to speak?
So to speak, yes. This is a redacted dossier. Right.
All right.
But he doesn't want any of these people dead, and not even necessarily interrogated, or not necessarily like apprehended. He wants them like investigated. He believes that they're guild agents, and he wants to see if you can find any evidence. That might mean like speaking with them and interrogating them, or it might just mean investigating them. Talking to people associated with them. Like he says, there's what's his title? The bailiff of the Wide is the kind of the guy who everybody has to pay for their like merchant stall spaces. He might he has to interact with this guy daily. That's just one example. Like each of these people has groups they interact with.
I see. So it's so the information that we were asking for about these targets' connection to the guild actually is there's some degree of inference they're making.
Yes.
Okay. So what about the second and third target?
In Lower City, the proprietor of the Low Lantern, which is a mothballed ship that serves as like a tavern and gambling hall for the Lower City residents, although it's been rumored to be a place that serves to kind of ruffians and many of the more questionable inhabitants of the city. Her name is Laraela. Laraela. Laraela Thundreth. It's a mouthful.
Gesundheit.
That's what she said.
Well, anyway, so this Laraela worked in this tavern. Now, what did she do? Or is she just frequently
she's
found there?
She's the proprietor of the tavern. She owns it.
Yeah. All right. And so she's conceivably involved with the underworld. And how about the target in the outer city?
A sorceress of sorts, magic user, who resides in the top floor of a shop on Worm's Crossing called Dan Fullon's Dancing Axe. She's not associated with the shop. That's where she resides.
Where her rooms are.
I believe she runs some sort of whether it's alchemy or something, a small business out of the top floor.
Okay. Well, I think that's enough information for us to go propose these investigations to our friends.
Very well. If you agree to the terms, you may get in contact with Emotions to Steward, my associate here, and we will gladly pay your room and board at again whatever inn you so choose, and we'll cover tonight's retrospectively if needed.
Okay. Well, I think that's all we need to discuss. Thanks for the meeting. Isn't that? Do you think it's time for us to go, Tars?
Yes, good sir. We certainly appreciate your hospitality and your willingness to propose this to us. We think of it as a bit of an honor to be thought of this way. So,
It's my pleasure. Truly, stepping in as you did, and trying to save the Duke, was a great act, and
it seemed only right, and that's, after all, what we try and do.
very well. Well, I bid you good night. And
Good night.
they, he mentions to Scoob to set you up with an escort out of the other city because it's closed off at night.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So some city watch escort you to Baldur's Gate.
Well, then after we're free, I can sort of let out the little chuckle I've been holding in ever since that tavern. Look at you! I thought I was the one with the silver tongue, Tars. Seemed only right. Where'd you learn to talk like that?
Once upon a time, I had to speak to people of station on a regular basis, you could say. I just never really developed a taste for court.
Well, I don't really blame you for that, but you keep that silver tongue of yours honed. I think we might have a chance to use it in this city. You know, I'd be more attracted to what this guy was proposing if he didn't come out with, if he hadn't sort of come out with this, shall we say, over-the-top way of mentioning it.
Agreed. I feel as though he's trying to eliminate competition for his own power grab.
It's either that or, Tars, I don't frequently mention this, but one of the many reasons I had to leave Waterdeep was because I once got involved in a job a lot like the one that's being proposed. You know, pick somebody that you don't like and cook up evidence to make sure that they get in trouble.
Right.
Anyway, because of that, I ended up sabotaging almost all my personal relationships. So I'm really not inclined to go down that same road. I wouldn't be against the idea of investigating some of these characters, but we got to make sure that they're really guilty. And if they are really guilty, that what they're doing really is bad. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think the investigation aspect might lead us to uncover a little bit more truth than what we were given by Duke Silvershield.
All right. Well, let's go join our friends.
Okay.
Excellent. The Blade and Stars.
All right. The two of you make your way back to Blade and Stars. Do either of the rest of you pairs have anything you'd want to discuss just amongst yourselves before meeting the group? Otherwise, let me know and we'll advance you to Blade and Stars.
I think I'm pretty straightforward. I'm kind of curious at what the other groups talked about. I mean, I know I heard it, but
Yeah, I just want to ask Direbroth, what do you think? You want to give him a quick answer?
Well, I do want to root out the bad folk in this city, but I don't know if these folk are the cause of what happened in the square with that demon. I mean, this could be a wild goose chase he's proposing.
Yeah, I don't really trust him either, but I like the idea of having the authority of the Flaming Fist on my side. And
yeah, I think that would be great for you because you get harassed enough. So that is maybe reason enough.
And I think that he's someone that it would be good to be close to have an ear close to.
Yeah.
Because maybe to see what the plans for the city are like.
Was,
see how the,
he was quick to taking power. I don't know. I have my suspicions of him too.
Well, what better way to what better way to investigate someone than to work with them?
Yeah, I don't see a reason not to stick with this, but we need to tell the party. We need to.
Yeah, I would like to touch base with the others as well.
Okay. In that case, you guys make your way back. However, at Basilisk Gate, you're stopped for tolls, and Direbot, they'd let you in for the usual 1 copper, but Zashar, once again, they ask for 10 gold from you.
10 gold.
Yep.
I'm going to make a big show of like looking for it. Like, well, let me even see if I have that much on me. I'm gonna have to like search and see what I can do here.
Once again,
don't you
implying
remember
that they should just arrest you on site.
Right. I want to see if I actually have enough coins for that. I think I do. But
He's with me.
I'll pay him. I'll say don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Ooh.
I'll
We
pay
may
him.
be in your ranks soon, so you better.
Out of the dark,
Nice now.
much gold.
When we're out of earshot, I'll say maybe I should be drinking my animal friendship potion before I talk to these people.
Hey, couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt.
All right, you guys get through, and Direbot, you pay your 1 copper or whatever. Zeal and Jay, you as well are asked to pay 1 copper to re-enter through the gate.
Fine. I'll take the 1 copper off my feet.
I'll pay, but we're going to bring this whole system down.
All right, and you guys all reconvene at the Blade and Stars. This inn, by the way, it's like what you expect of a fantasy inn, but I guess it's kind of gimmick, is that the sign of the inn has a giant like shield and sword, and the sword is like striking the shield, and there's actually like appears to be like magical like sparks or something like flying off the shield. Imagine like a like a Las Vegas like strip kind of a look to it, where it's got some sort of fancy magical enchantment on it.
Told you it's a good place.
That's your action. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's not.
Kind of
Yeah,
shake
I mean,
my head at the display, but
yeah, as like a novelist place, it's like fine probably for
it's trying too
middle
hard.
class
That's
people.
what I feel.
It's trying to look above its class, but like you just looking at it for someone like you're like, I better, like it's probably fine, but you're thinking like, oh god, is there bed bugs in this place or whatever. I mean, it's certainly going to be much better than any place you could have found in Outer City. It probably doesn't have bed bugs, but you probably are like irrationally concerned about it.
Well, we're all here at any rate.
Well, Tars and I just got asked to this one of the other dukes. The guy who got assassinated was one. This guy is another duke that we talked to, and they basically think that the Thieves Guild is connected to this assassination. They didn't really give much evidence to prove that, but they gave us some people that they think are suspected to be in the Thieves Guild that they want us to investigate and prove it. And if so, there's quite a lot of money in it for us. But I'm skeptical as to whether we want to even take this job, especially when the most important thing is figuring out what actually happened.
That's similar to what the person we talked to wanted. He also wants us to take down this Thieves Guild.
Well, he didn't want us investigating anyone.
He wanted to strike.
He's going to be raiding a couple of gambling dens tomorrow. And
Yeah.
wants us to
Wait,
be there.
gambling dens? You wouldn't be speaking of the
Low Lantern?
Lantern Tavern by chance, would you?
It's exactly the place he wants us to bust.
One of them.
We're supposed to.
Where
We're
else
supposed to.
did you say that they were going to raid?
A place in Little Callahan, or
Yeah,
Little Callum
it's
Chat.
called the Oasis.
Oasis.
But
Now my suspicions are growing that some of these powerful people are in league to perhaps consolidate a bit more power and push out some sort of competition if they're all asking for the same kinds of things.
Right.
I mean, that sounds typical for politicians.
Seems
It
like
does.
these two are working together here.
But why work through strangers to town?
Presumably so that they can deny it if things go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Or deny it when things go right and they get a little too much power.
That's also possible.
But say we refuse their offers, does that make us targets?
Well, I got a place for you to go if that is.
Where's that?
Well, I was talking with a fine merchant down in Little Callahan at Callahan that wants me to work for the guild. And
Really?
Talk to somebody in this thieves guild?
the guild, these guild and guild are two separate things. Get it right.
Did they smell like a demon?
No, I've known this person for quite a while. I would trust them. I would trust any words from them than any politician.
They didn't have
commander.
a brain coming out of the top of their head or anything suspicious like that?
They are very good at disguising themselves.
Well, if
But,
you can trust this person, I've never met this marshal before now. And
I trust
you
this
know
person. They're trying to help the citizens of Outer City, and I'm assuming that you guys explained everything at your meetings, so I'm not out of character.
Well, when the marshal, the most important thing I noted about the marshal was that when I described how the drow matrons would deal with his problem of looking for someone by the moniker of Nine Fingers, he suggested that maybe wasn't such a bad idea. Even though it simply involved...
And how do they do that?
They simply round up everyone with 9 fingers on their hands, have them publicly stripped and beaten until one of them confesses to whatever it is they're accused of.
You know, there's an easier way. The way we would do it in Waterdeep is just find a random guy and chop off his finger.
Oh yes, that might happen. That might happen too, but
this is corrupt.
Water Gate, depending on who you ask, that person just disappears.
well, he seemed to trust us, and I answered his questions most favorably.
He did give us a good offer of not being harassed at all at any gate, and I'm sure there's probably some gold involved in this too, but I don't think we settled on anything like that.
I'm fighting for the Outer City myself, no matter what you choose.
I may not have much love for the sisters that raised me, but I did learn a few things from them. And one of them is that in the arts, or some of those things of the arts of deception. And I believe that it may be beneficial for me to be close to this man in the Flaming Fist as a way to gather information that could be beneficial to the rest of us, if you take my meaning.
So what did the people in the Thieves Guild... First of all, I'm confused. Is there a guild and a Thieves Guild and they're different things?
They are.
So,
A guild.
just to make sure that I get it, Mr. DM, the noble we met with was talking about which one of those?
You know, Zeal, you may not have all the information. Up until now, so the offer you had right before you left town was to become an operative of the guild, which up until then she'd always kind of been playing around, like whether she was part of the guild or not. But you'd been going on, little thieving missions with her without being like officially part of it or speaking of it for years, like off and on.
And as far as I know, they recruited from the Thieves Guild, because Thieves Guild is kind of the minor side.
No, they're like, I mean, I don't think there is a difference between the Thieves Guild and the Guild.
Then
they just don't want to refer to themselves as thieves, even though it's like one of them.
I misinterpreted it before. That's my bad. All right, well then, forget any of this.
Okay. But I'm a little bit glad though, because that kind of simplifies it. So, but what exactly were they asking you to do? Because it seems like these other people have asked us to either investigate or just straight up, bust up some people they want busted up. But what do the guild want?
They want me to, half of, or more, 4 of us have had the pleasure to see that dwarf at Basilisk Gate. I'm supposed to go there and handle the situation how I see fit. Murder. No murder involved.
Shake them down.
Yeah, to get that money back and get it back to the people.
I don't really disagree with that plan, but what gets me is that none of these things that we've been asked to do seem to have the slightest connection to the case. The assassin, and what was those mysterious words that assassin whispered? Something about his brother? What the heck was that about?
Mm-hmm. We don't have any information about that.
I want to know what they did with the body of that demon. If they brought it somewhere, and who's investigating this demon.
Well, Zeal, if you trust this guild, and I take up work for the Flaming Fist, I suggest that I would follow my good dear sister Morganite's advice. She said in situations like this, if you know where one party is going to hit, your Thieves Guild should just make sure that when the raid happens, since I know which places are going to be hit soon, that your guild leader simply sends operatives there that she either wishes to be rid of, ones that don't have any good information, or one of the patient ones.
Dylan, do you want to get rid of people in the guild? If I'm understanding that right, you want us to send people in the guild that we don't like to go die?
Oh, I don't think they're going to be killed. They're going to be arrested. So it gives your guild a perfect opportunity to plant a patient one in the prison.
Oh, now I get you. Okay.
They can plant someone in the prison system to gather information, someone that they want there. It's a very common thing in Drow society, having someone sent to prison on purpose to gather information, especially since our lifespans are so long.
I think Jay once told me he was getting arrested on purpose too. We do it kind of a similar way where I come from.
Yeah, spending a good 20 years in chains is there are some that are actually accustomed and more used to that lifestyle.
While I can't say for sure, I'm pretty sure that they already have people in the prison system that are probably guards and even higher already inside the prison.
The point, Zashar seems to be making the point that you can't clear out the tavern altogether when it's going to be hit. It has to look like something still could be going on there. To have it cleaned out would tip them off that we knew what was going on.
I know. I would probably lead them astray to another place that isn't a part of the guild. If I was a part of the guild, I'm not.
But then
I would probably let them choose. I would give them the information, but I'd let them choose their best action for that.
I can grow closer to the Flaming Fist and funnel information your way, as long as your guild is savvy with that information and doesn't blow my cover. I think it can be very beneficial to them.
Now,
I agree.
The only hitch to this plan, Imelda, if I'm correct, we were told that time is of the essence, and I think these players are trying to move now.
And
within hours or a day rather than within a 10-day.
And I can get that, and I can. I'm definitely going to send this information now.
Yes, the raids are happening tomorrow.
Exactly.
And I can be, like I said, I can be there to make sure that no one is killed. And if they have a particularly good actor, I can even rough someone up particularly well without dealing injury or bodily harm to them if they're willing to play the part.
Okay, so let's say that we do this favor for the guild. Can we then expect a favor in return from them in helping us get to the bottom of this incident? Because the way I see it, the guild are actually the only ones who have much of an incentive to get at the truth. The Flaming Fist and these nobles seem to be just interested in using this for their own political benefit.
Using the guild as a scapegoat is a convenient way to get their own ends met.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it seems like maybe the guild would if we threw in with the guild, we would have and played the others, we would have the best chance of actually getting at the truth.
Yeah, and the guild could probably get you any information you need. I'm sure there's people everywhere in the Flaming Fist, in the government. Although the right hand of the Dukes is probably in the guild too.
It seems that this plan could easily backfire. If we get caught, we'll be thrown in prison. This isn't the right thing to do. We would have to play it so carefully.
I've taken those risks before. I had to if I wanted to get out of bondage.
Everything I've learned.
The unfortunate thing is that while I'd like to do that, then we also have to be thinking about our long-term mission, which is that we still need to figure out a method to intercept those damn dragon cultists.
Yeah, they're on the way.
Perhaps we can pin the murder on the dragon cult. Turn the city against them.
Make up a fake foe? Ooh. But that would require, for us to actually make that fake happen, we would kind of need to solve the case first.
Very true.
Also, I'm hoping that I can, if I get a little rank and influence among the Flaming Fist, I can use that as a way to make them take the dragon cult seriously here.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a bad idea, Zashar. I do wonder, were any of you others, Jay and Zeal and Diabroth and Zashar, were you given any other targets in the city besides the Low Lantern?
Just
just the other one in Little Kalisham.
Just the locations. We weren't given a specific person.
No, just locations and names. He said they're going to be hitting gambling dens, in a raid, making multiple arrests, and a show of force.
Perhaps, Imelda, we should do our investigating at the Low Lantern very early to maybe beat this raid.
Maybe even right now.
Yeah, why don't we before we turn in for the night?
I'll send a message back to the Flaming Fist that I'm interested in joining, and I'll meet up with their ranks very early in the morning.
Is it going to interfere with your plan of gaining cred with the Flaming Fist, Zashar, if when they raid the Low Lantern they don't happen to actually catch anybody very good?
Again, that depends on how informed the guild's leadership is. I'm trusting them to be savvy enough to put people that, sure, might seem like they're not, might seem like they're a good catch to the public, but in reality are not.
It's sort of like how my family's shipping enterprise went. There was always a decoy, a ship with maybe a few goods on it to be captured by the pirates, while the others were able to get away.
Absolutely.
If that's the case, then the plan will be for me and Tars to investigate the Low Lantern, while Jay and Zeal inform the guild about the impending raid, and Diabroth and who's left? Diabroth and Zashar go and pretend to be gung-ho at joining said raid. Because that's the problem, though, is that we've been seen meeting together, and
I don't think that would matter. We all feel like we're on. I think if we're all attempting to fulfill the promises we've made, the fact that we intersect on something, it may not be a bad thing. That our tasks are overlapping.
We just need a way to transmit information secretly and efficiently to each other.
But it's not going to be this idea of, like, what I'm saying is, if you were to look at our group suspiciously, you would be able to think, like, look, they already know each other. We saw Imelda and Taurus go to talk to this lord. Meanwhile, we, and these other factions happen to know all these things, and vice versa. The guy that we met with, I'm sure, is aware that you are our known associates. I mean, so I don't, I hate this. I hate to turn down a good con, but I think Diabroth might be right in that what we're thinking about doing is a little bit complicated and really, really risky.
Of course it is. I'll tell them that we had differences, and then, as I said, I might not see you publicly for several days.
Are you saying that we fake a breaking of our fellowship?
I don't know if that's a good idea either.
That's even riskier. I think what would make most sense to people looking in at us is for us to have shared this. We've shared this information with one another. We can't get in each other's way. We can't stop each other's tasks from being completed. So maybe we shouldn't investigate the tavern and let the other bits play out as they need to.
Sorry, go ahead.
We don't even need to fake breaking up the entire fellowship. It could simply be that I am cast out of it. I'm the only one who needs to play up this charade.
That might work.
Think of it. I've been outcast. I make an easy. The role of the outcast is easy and believable for me.
You may have some trouble posing as a guard, being what you are.
Perhaps Ashar, trying to go it on your own in this kind of city. Perhaps you wouldn't get the protection that you think you will.
If I was with you, I think it may make it easier on you. So I don't want to leave you hanging there.
All right.
Oh, if we broke up, I don't think I would be faking it. I'm siding with the guild either way.
I'm siding with the party because you're the ones I trust.
You know what? I think that the only thing that makes sense for us to do is just pick one of these three potential bosses and stick with it. Otherwise, we're going to be fighting against each other and playing con games, and people will get it.
I thought you human women had more courage than that.
Oof.
Now's a shark. An abundance of common sense does not mean that there's a lack of courage involved. I'm actually tending to agree with this plan now.
I'm going to take like a 2-minute break and go get one of the street urchins and send a letter back to the guild. All this information.
Are you saying you're doing this subtly, or are you talking about
Yeah. I'm doing that subtly.
You have a you remember you have a planned meeting later tonight anyway. Remember?
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
Well,
Also, you don't know. I mean, aside from the pawn shop you just came from, you're not exactly sure where they meet.
That's true. Teammates who's probably not at the same spot.
I'm in agreement that a con game isn't in our best interest right now. I'm remembering what we tried to accomplish in the beginning of our adventures in the little valley there, and we didn't plan it well enough, and I don't think we have time to plan it even better now. So
There are a lot of moving parts.
too many.
And this plan right now seems like there's even more. So
Yes.
I think it's going to be just as suspicious if we turn down all this other work.
I don't think it would be suspicious if we chose
the person
one
you talked
direction
to
to go in.
first,
Yes.
the person you talked to said that they had other mercenaries or something that could do the same work. So I don't think it would be an issue turning down your offer. It's just it was a substantial amount of money that they were offering, but it's not about the money. It's about finding out who murdered the Duke.
Yes, I agree with you, Diabras. I think that this mystery is wrapping up a lot of moving parts. And I think getting to the bottom of it is more important than any other appeasement of other parties.
It's not about the power or the money.
All about the party or the power.
I'm agreeing with what you guys say, but we still are not quite to a plan.
No, we aren't.
To be honest, I'm not too terribly excited about making all these decisions by committee. I'm looking forward to making some choices of my own now that I'm up in the world. If you don't come up with a good plan for us to work together, I might stick to my original plan and go join the Flaming Fist and see how long I last.
Well, I don't need no convincing. I'm sticking with my plan, and that's it.
Imelda?
Yeah.
I've been mulling it over. I don't see a reason we can't do our investigation of these people of interest, as long as we don't get in the way of anything that we know is happening.
I suppose that doesn't bring us into conflict with what our would-be patron has requested.
If we don't get to the tavern before the raid, we're staying out of the way of something that was in motion. And who knows, we may even be able to speak with the proprietor later on anyway.
You guys can pretend that you didn't get to the other place first. You did. Or the little lantern.
I'm sorry, I don't get it. You're saying that we should go there first, but we pretend we didn't get there first?
No.
You investigate the other two spots, but the little lantern, just check it off your list as, hey, it got raided before we...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We know it would be raided because we are speaking with the rest of our party.
Right. So instead
yeah.
Oh, I say. So we instead say something like, well, we'll leave that to the Fist to wrap up, and we'll hit the other places. I see. So instead of all converging there, we each pick one goal for our group and try and stay out of the other's way.
Yeah, my job doesn't even go anywhere you guys mentioned.
Okay, and then if Tars and I stay away from that, stay away from there. I'm liking this plan a lot more because this way we can cover more ground rather than all showing up at this one tavern and hoping we don't miss something.
And Zeal, I just need to find a way to get information to you under the guards' noses. I'm sure that we can come up with a secret.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I can teach you a way to use certain people and what's that way, or show you a spot or two that no one knows about but me.
Yes, and
okay.
I'm proficient in writing several different languages that might not be common up here.
Me too. I can write them on it.
I think that Tars, I think what you just said was the key to all this. This is making me feel a lot better about the direction we should go now.
Well, that's good to know.
But I mean, it seems like we're almost in agreement about our plan now, right?
Yeah, I think we do need to split up. There's no reason that we can't all work independently of one another, and as long as we don't step on one another's plans, our the folks we're in contact with won't have any reason to think that we're trying to foil one or another until we discover what, who's really at fault here.
I don't trust this leader of the Fist at all whatsoever. And from what I know about political leaders, I wouldn't be surprised if some political leader was the motivation for the murder.
Zashar, we're going to have to tell the Marshal that our party is not interested, but that we are.
Don't worry. You can let me. If the talking makes you uncomfortable, you can let me do it. Though I will be putting on a bit more of a simpleton role than you've seen.
We've only known each other for what, a week or two? Pretty sure they'd be like, yeah, we don't know each other that well. Oh,
I'm not cut out for joining groups of that sort. I don't think it would be anything unexpected for me to bow out.
Well, I think it would be an honor to be part of the guard of this great city, but there is corruption up top, I believe.
There's corruption in this room.
Well, best way to find it is to be close to the source.
I think what we should ask one another now is, are we heading out tonight to do our respective rounds, or are we waiting till morning?
I think we can meet with the Marshal in the morning.
Yes, I'm going to send. I told him I would meet him first thing in the morning.
All right. And
stick to that.
And as for us, our targets, one of our targets is this merchant who's not even going to be there till tomorrow morning. So I suppose we could wait. We decided to hit the what's that?
I said we certainly could. We should go to Upper City then, to the Wide. Otherwise, if we want to go in the same direction as Zashar and Diabros, we'd wind up down at the Worms Crossing, where our other target is.
Yeah, let's stay out of their way and go for the more distant target.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay, great. So we're decided then.
Okay. And Zeal and I guess Jay, we need to know if you're gonna be involved in the tax collector robbery, and if so, you guys actually technically don't have anything to do till midnight tomorrow. That's when he gets off shift.
And what time is it currently, like, in the day?
It's like just after midnight, like the day prior to the robbery.
Okay. No, I mean, it's just after midnight right now.
It is, yeah.
Okay. It's gonna have someplace I need to go, but they're not going to see me leave.
Okay. Then my only other questions are, Tarson Melda, are you going to do these investigations? Are you going to inform the Duke that we're going to work for him, or are you going to do the investigations anyway?
He didn't request us. He didn't put any specific request in for a definite answer. So
he did say, though, that we would get more information if we agreed to be in with him.
Yeah, if you want the reward, he needs to know that you're working for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we would send word based on the agreed upon method that our first target will be the guy in the wild, and we won't say we won't tell him our first target, but we'll say that we've accepted the offer and we'll begin our investigation shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there should be a messenger in the street we could toss a copper to, just to bring it up to a guard station.
Right, in Upper City. We'll send it. We'll send it collect, of course.
Of course.
Okay. Great. Oh shoot. Okay, I forgot a detail. That they would have. That I guess he probably would have added, which it'll probably work out, but he also would have said that as part of this investigation, and he was going to wait for you to say whether you're fully accepted or not. He was going to give you an official writ of search and seizure, which would give you authorization essentially as if you were the official of the city to which would give you some leverage potentially, depending on who you were speaking with.
Oh, well, if that's the case, well, that's pretty powerful, but I mean, what would what would the procedure be to get that? Like, assuming we did agree.
It was. He said you just need to speak with Scoon in the morning if you accepted the offer, essentially. And you'd have all the paperwork ready for you.
I guess we can plan to do that, right, Carson?
We can go speak with Skund in the morning and then just head over to the Wide. We'll be very close by.
Great.
Okay. Great. In that case, you guys book your rooms. It's 1 gold per night for a 2-bed room, or there's like for like a basic room. They do also have like a higher class, like, you know, king bed like suite that's like 10 gold.
That's for me on that. And I'll pay the other 5 gold so everyone can have their own room.
Wow, thanks. Speaking of gold,
Very
over the 2 sessions when I wasn't here, did I end up spending any money?
No.
Okay, great.
Yeah, because your ship into town was paid. It was a free entry into Upper City for the festival, and then you didn't go through any tax tolls yet. So no, you didn't spend any money.
Great.
Unless you would have spent some money on like snacks or food. There's a bunch of whole variety.
Sure, I'll subtract some silver.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
The night passes. You guys all retire except perhaps Zeal. Zeal, do you go to the meeting spot?
You.
All right. He had a private room, so presumably none of you, unless you specifically say you want to like stay up and stupid at the end. Presuming he gets out on his own in the middle of the night. And you meet up with a woman you might know by a different name, and she's got a slightly different demeanor. And when she sees you, she's like, "Well, now I can speak freely. It's so good to see you again. What happened? When I sent you to go spy on your father, and then you never came back. I feared the worst. I sent agents to try and find out what happened, but they found nothing. Where have you been?"
Well, I'm going to regale her with the stories of green rift and dragon colts and fakes, manticores. but pretty much, when you get serious about it, I just had to leave the city because it was either that or find my father and what he was doing, and I just couldn't. I never thought of myself being able to do that, but now that I've been out in the real world, out of Baldur's Gate, I've had to do some things that I never thought I would, and that it's actually exhilarating. Came back and didn't want to, but this group really trying to save Baldur's Gate, and now we got pulled into this whole murder investigation.
Wow, it's quite a story. I can tell you've grown a lot. I feel like the city's about to explode. I'm worried about how things are gonna go. Is your group really on board with this?
They're both, and I'll tell them about they're working with the other Duke and they're working with Flaming Fist, and how like Zashar's saying, like, he's going to try to pass information on to me from the Flaming Fist. The other group, they're just going to investigate, and they're going to just do what they were told. They're not actually doing anything wrong.
Nah, she's like, yeah, from what we know of Raven Guard, he's always been a law and order kind of guy. I don't expect any mercy from him if we get caught.
Oh,
I feel he's going to be doing everything he can to find us and eliminate us.
That comes with the territory and what we do. No, I never thought I'd ever see you again either. I never thought I'd come back.
Well, we need to make sure you do a little better job of keeping yourself hidden if you go anywhere near Upper City. I won't be there next time.
No. Are you there?
Why was I there?
Yeah.
Is it?
Legit
Believe it or
reason.
not, I have always been a fan of Duke Adrian. He did some great things for the city, and I just like to hear him speak.
Okay. I believe you. On you.
Well, please keep me informed with what the rest of your group finds from the Fist and from Silver Shield.
Do you have any other information on what we need to do tomorrow night?
While we're here, yeah. And she you guys go on a walk, and she through the foggy, and you guys have to be a little careful because there's fighting Fist patrols here and there. But it's like old times. You guys kind of go down some alleyways, and she points out you guys walk the route where the guy goes, so you become very familiar with exactly where you need to go. I believe his house is somewhere here. We'll get to it when we get to that part of the session. She asks if you want to get a few drinks at the Elf Song Tavern.
Yes, I already knew where that was going. I have another task at Elf Song you need to take care of.
You did tell her about the raids, right?
Okay, is that clear that you did?
Yeah. No, she knows about the raids and what they were doing, and all the information they told me, I definitely passed on to her.
Okay. She's like, that's some dire news, but yeah, we'll be ready. All right. You guys have a night at the Elf Song Tavern.
I do have to, since I've already told the guards who I am and whatnot, you need to talk to the proprietor of the Elf Song Tavern and get back something that I left there.
Yes, it's the same guy. He recognizes you, and yes, he returns your what is it? Your loan. Okay. Great. The night passes. I'll just put it up over there.
Make sure she gets home safely, okay, guys?
And it's the next morning. So who's going where? Is it both? Are you guys kind of sticking with your initial groups that you split up with?
I think that makes the most sense.
It does.
Okay. Well, let's do Zashar and Diagoth first, since you said you wanted to go first thing and speak with
Yeah, I want to go very early. And preferably like so early that before the sun is fully up, so it's not quite as uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll move out at like 5:30.
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. Like very early.
Okay. Yeah, you get to the Basilisk Gate, and there's a different guy there. It's not the dwarf, and he's not. I mean, you get kind of the same runaround, but he only asks for 1 gold from you to pass versus the copper from Diabroth.
I will pay him the 1 gold without even like making comment about it.
Okay. You get there quite early, 5 or 6 a.m. And he's actually up and agrees to meet you. He's like a military man. Apparently, he just like never sleeps. So,
excellent.
You meet up at his office on the top floor, and he's like, "You're back. I hope with good news."
Yes. Well, having a fresh taste of the freedom of this world, I am happy to be able to make my own decisions, and I like that your group is organized in such a way that, as you said, we would kind of come and go and have a temporary position, but it would also accrue some prestige that I have yet to experience. So I'm all for signing up. I can't speak for any of my companions, as it's not my place to do so, but Diabroth here came with me as well.
I'm here as support with Shashar. I trust Shashar with my life.
Support? And, does that mean you are not joining the Fist?
I want to make sure none of your officers treat Shashar badly. I want him to be treated like any other citizen in this city. We've gone through the Basilisk Gate a few times now, and he's had to pay more than anyone. And it's not right. He's done a good deed, and he deserves to be treated well.
Thank you, Diabroth.
That is, there's certainly some truth to your words. My men are simply following their orders. With everything that happened in the Wide last night, we need to look through every. We need to consider everything very carefully. The city is, it's not martial law. We're not on like complete lockdown, but their killers are at large, and we'll never be able to find them if we don't speak with everyone who seems suspicious.
I agree with you there.
But I can do something to help. Say you're willing to pledge your assistance to the Fist. Take this. He hands you it's a brooch that you can like attach on your like shoulder or something, or on your front of your whatever your outfit, with the symbol of the Fist on it. This is my official seal. You can use this to pass through the checkpoints, and also you can use it. I instructed the guards to be expecting you down here, but without this, on other occasions that were not expected, they might not otherwise let you up to speak with me. So this will allow you to speak with me. I won't always be here, I should say. I have this office, but I also sometimes operate out of the Sea Tower. I'm sure you've seen it, and you guys have. There's a like giant like keep that's on like an island in the bay. You guys would have seen it like probably this morning. Probably actually like last. Actually, you would have seen it, I guess, as you came in on your Baldur, so light enough to see it then.
Well, thank you. I will wear it with honor.
And I guess he looks like questioning like Dybroth. They're like, are you joining as well?
Yes, I'm willing to help. We do need to get to the bottom of this, and I'm here to help in any way.
Okay. Glad to hear it. He gives you the silver brooch as well. The plan is to strike these gambling dens. We want to do it when they're in operation. We can actually presumably apprehend some of these lowlives. So we're planning to raid at 8 bells. Sorry, actually, 8 bells for Low Lantern, because that's more of a place of drinking and rowdy behavior. They operate late into the night. Before that, we're going to strike the Oasis at 6 bells.
All right. Where should we report in the meantime? Is there a way that I can get to maybe better know some of the other Flaming Fist members that we'll be working with?
Yes.
How many
people don't always
other
trust me right off the bat, you know?
How many other officers are going to be in this raid?
He gives you the numbers. Like, there'll be like a squad, like 10 people, 10 soldiers, and like a sergeant. But you'll be in command of all of them. And he suggests that you kind of head in first, step in first, evaluate the situation. I feel like if a whole squad goes through the front doors, people are gonna run for the hills out of every window. But if you go in first and kind of take stock of the situation, maybe speak to the proprietor, getting information you can possibly, and then bring in the crew. They'll be waiting outside to back you up.
Okay.
And in the meantime, he brings in a steward, another officer. He says, "My men can gladly give you a tour of the fortress and learn a little bit about our operations here."
Yeah, great. I'm excited to meet people.
Very well. I look forward to hearing back from you with a successful operation.
Absolutely. We'll try and prioritize those who seem to have the most suspicious connections to demons or any other otherworldly associates.
Very well. And he lets you out, or an officer guides you out. All right, you guys can spend some time there. You get to see most of the major rooms. They show like where the armory is. You see like the barracks. You speak with some officers. You can spend like up to like half the day there if you want. If you feel like there's enough time, they even would offer you to like go and see the sea tower as well.
Yeah, I'm all for playing the role, playing the part and being interested in meeting everyone. And I really want to keep my eye out for, guards who seem to be like I noticed before the ones that were like, shaking me down for extra money. Like I kind of want to try and get a vibe on which of the, officers, if any, seem to be like, part of hustles or scams like that. But I figure it'll take me a long time before I get to meet any of them.
It would probably take you a long time. For a few of the things that you learn over the course of the morning and the day is that the Flaming Fist army is massive. This fortress, the little square here, doesn't really do it justice. Their membership must be in the thousands. There are, and they're from all walks of life. This is not like, certainly not like the army in like the Drow cities, or like the guard in Waterdeep at all. The Flaming Fist army they're a mercenary army. In fact, they're the higher members. You can see that they're from all like kinds of different backgrounds, different races. It's not like some armies where it's like mostly just humans. Like there's quite a lot of other races mixed in there, and a lot of people at the higher positions you gather are like from a lot of different skill sets, i.e., like different classes. Like a lot of them are like former adventurers that wanted to like settle down in the city, and this is like a well-paying job for somebody with their like combat experience.
Okay, cool. That's kind of all I need to know then. I'll worry about specifics later.
Okay. Imelda and Tars.
Yes.
Yeah. So first thing we need to stop by, the steward and pick up our writ. Habeas corpus suspension. No, it's not habeas corpus. It's illegal search and seizure. Writ.
Okay.
So the second, and then after that, and we would then, well, we can role play it if necessary.
Yeah.
And I guess we will because we'll need to say that it's only two of us on the case for now.
Getting to Baldur's Gate. How early are you heading out?
I think like before the market would open. What time does the market open? I should ask.
I think it's like 6 or 7 a.m. They start letting the merchants through, and then the gates open to like the public.
I think so if we were at Baldur's Gate trying to get into the upper city by say 7, I think that would be a reasonable time.
That is reasonable, yeah.
We don't want to be too early, and we don't want to be late like we're loafing about.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, there's the line has started moving then at that point, but you can see that it's quite a slog of sleepy people pushing heavy carts, and it takes like an hour to get up through. Seeing that you're not merchants and that you're once you spend your own business or whatever, they ask for like 1 copper each to get through the gate.
Sure.
And they would have actually Scoon. They didn't mention this, but they would have said to meet at High Hall. High Hall is like the seat of government of the city. And I mentioned that we would have talked a bit about like the politics briefly of the city. We would have explained that Scoon himself is a member of Parliament. It's like the city council of Baldur's Gate, most of which are residents of Upper City, but not all. Maybe like a quarter to a third of them are people of importance in the Upper City. But he meets you there. He's very happy to see you back, and offers you or hands over the writ. It's a official document with a lot of legalese on it, and then it's got a like a wax seal on it, and also it has the signature of the Duke, Corwin Silvershield. He also, in terms of his agreement, he asks which inn you're staying at, so that he can contact them and make sure your rooms are paid for as long as you're here. And he also hands you each 10 gold. He says, I believe this was, we forgot to mention this, but this is just for incidentals. It's you can collect this each day.
All right.
Okay. Well, that's perfect. I think that fits quite nicely with our plan.
I wish you luck. If you need to speak with me, you can find me here up until the Upper City closes.
There's a. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you require any kind of regular updates?
I would hope to hear from you by 8 bells when the Upper City closes with news of what all you are able to discover today.
Okay, so daily updates.
That's fine. We can certainly accommodate that request.
Very good. I wish you luck. And I will send word to the Duke and show him this place.
All right. So, as far as the wide is concerned, this is first of all where this whole assassination happened when I wasn't here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yesterday it was also mentioned that there was some guy who was ran some sort of person who was sort of in charge of, he was like the manager of the area, and he sort of knew about our target.
Yes, and in fact, you would have seen him when you went through the Baldur's Gate. There was one person that the merchants were specifically talking to who had, he had a desk or a table set up and was recording stuff in a ledger, and merchants were paying their fees to get in and such.
So he was mentioned in connection with our target, but why was that again? Just that you would know about him or know how to recognize him and stuff?
Yeah, you could point out where his booth was and could tell you potentially about him.
Okay. Tars, do you agree that we should probably try and chat with this guy first?
I think that's a smart plan. It also seems like it would be most proper, so I think we should.
Okay, so I guess we'll try and beg a minute of this guy's time.
Okay. Yeah, enough time has passed that most of the merchants have gone through, so by maybe 9 or 10 a.m., somewhere in that range, you can approach him and speak with him. And
I think we'll just be honest, right? At the request of Lord Silvershield, we've been asked to look a little more closely into the business of somebody who is operating here.
Yes, and you remember it? I didn't write down the names or anything, so I'm sure you don't remember his name.
His name is Norland Dlusker.
Oh, you wrote them down. I'm so proud. Dlusker. Yes, he's patriarch. Which that term, the patriarch, is a term basically for the nobility of the city. The Dlusker family, yes. He operates a stall near the beloved Ranger statue. Deals in textiles. What would you like to know? Also, he introduced himself as Jedrin Hiller, Bailiff of the Wide.
Jedrin Hiller.
Well, what we've been tasked with finding out is if there might be more to Mr. Dlusker's business than meets the eye. We were wondering if you had, in the course of your duties, had any reason to, notice anything out of the ordinary with him.
Well, nothing immediately comes to mind, but I might suggest taking a look at the registry, the daily ledger. I'd be happy to allow you access for a monitoring fee of 10 gold.
It's a deal. I'll just give the 10 gold that I received for incidentals here.
Okay. He beckons you into his little office in the kind of in the gatehouse, and just sets you up with a little table and says, "Help yourself. This is the records for the most recent. They're sorted by 10 day," and he kind of explains.
Well, I think I'm going to I'm going to set a new record for longest in a D&D adventure before rolling a dice. I'd like to roll an investigation check over this.
All right.
And we have a 23.
23, excellent. Yeah, you. Your experience precedes you, and you. I mean, it takes some time. You spend probably between the two of you like an hour or two looking throughout the ledgers related to this merchant. The first thing you notice, or one thing that stands out to you, is that despite being a noble, like supposedly a noble of the city, his fees for his stall have actually all been paid for the past like several years have been paid by another person who the registry lists as a Lady Keene, Keene. That's really the most like kind of thing that's unusual thing that stands out to you.
All right. Might be a point that we can quibble on. So, but it's not possible for me to detect any irregularities, like as far as the financial side of things. Like it's not obviously like he's bringing in merchandise and then not selling it, or there, like some sort of conflict in the records. I guess it's impossible to really audit somebody's finances in that short a time.
No, it's hard to say.
I'm going to also roll an investigation. Maybe I'll take a look at the pages as Imelda passes them on, and I'll just look on the side. Because I did come from a family of business people. Maybe I'll notice a trick or two, but probably not with a 5. So. All good. I'm just trying to look important.
I mean, it occurs to you, but also to Imelda that I mean, it doesn't. It seems like maybe his business isn't doing as well as some of the other merchants in the area.
Okay, that's good to know. All right. Well, Tars, I think we probably figured out all we can here, or maybe we could, but I don't want to let our target get away.
No, I think we should go speak to him in person.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How do you want to approach him? He directs you. He points out his booth. It's pretty obvious based on the description and the fact that he's next to that very prominent statue in the center of the wide.
Actually, before we leave Mr. Hiller, the bailiff, since he presumably was here for that big assassination, let's not forget the real reason we're here, Tars. Let's ask this guy if he remembers anything else about that showdown that happened a couple days ago.
Yes.
I mean, it was a horrible thing. I had reservations about opening up the gates to the entire city's public. The fortunate passing of the Duke. I mean, he was a man of the people, though. He wanted to allow everybody in to enjoy the greater things of the city, and I just feel like that cost him his life.
But Bailiff, wasn't this an annual celebration, or a semi-annual celebration at least? I mean, haven't you opened the gate year after year with little to no incident? I mean, obviously never an assassination.
Well, I mean, yes, okay, it has been that way for a long time, but it's always made me nervous every year.
Okay, but this year, was it especially nerve-wracking for any reason? Or just in general?
Well, I mean, that so-called guild certainly has been ramping up their operations, and I mean, it just seems... I guess I should say I was... Not that I wasn't surprised, I certainly was, but I feel like it makes sense.
So in your mind, there's no doubt that the guild were behind the assassination?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's no doubt, but it's not my job to be...
Sure.
I mean, my job is to deal with the finances and the merchants of this town. I'm not a member of the Wash.
But you mentioned though that the guild were ramping up their operations. What did you mean by that?
I mean, it seems almost every day that that I hear reports from the merchants of pickpockets and thieves operating here. I mean, used to be you'd only hear things of that nature from the lower city or of course the outer city, but it's spread even up here.
See. Okay, well, I think that's... Well, unless anything else occurs to you that was odd about that incident, I guess we'll be on our way.
Very well.
Well, Tars, how do you think we should play it with Mr. Norland Lusker?
Do you think it'd be best to just approach him directly, but not trying to raise any alarm? Just tell him that we're looking into things, or should we be deceptive?
Well, what is our desired endgame? What we really want to do is figure out if this guy has done something really bad, and if so, bust him for it. But
you know, where I come from, the threat of people looking into your business is usually worse than people actually looking into your business. So I don't think we have to use our writ of search and seizure, just have to inform him that we have one.
And then have him perhaps give us a good reason to take it easy on him.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that'll be our plan then.
Well, I'll let you take the lead since you're used to speaking to people in this manner.
Translation: higher intimidation score. Yeah. So we're gonna. So all right, DM. We're gonna go over to Mr. Delusker's stall.
Okay.
I'll skip the customary fine stall of merchandise you got here. Intro to a shakedown attempt.
Okay.
So what does he look like?
Okay.
He's just a human.
So he's human, like middle-aged, little heavy set. He's got he looks tired. He's his eyes bright up a little bit when he sees someone approaching the booth, and he's like, "Oh, welcome to Dlusker Fineries. Can I interest you in a do you cut him off or?"
Yeah, I'll say. Well, let's let him finish the sentence. What is he trying to interest us in?
He has some fine rugs, woven rugs of looks like a exotic design.
Ooh, exotics! I love it. You know, Mr. Blusker, you don't really see things like this around here very often. But there's something that's also very rare in Baldur's Gate that we're looking to find.
Did you call me Mr. Dlusker?
Dlusker, yeah.
What is this? How did you? I didn't even say my name. Why do you need to speak with me?
The rare thing we're trying to find is called the truth.
Excuse me.
I'll withdraw the writ from my pocket just to show the seal.
Look, this gives us the right to search your environment, your environs. We already know that you've got some sort of crazy, connection with the guild. What we're looking for is a good reason for us
guild?
to skip this whole thing.
He looks at the writ and he's like, "That's Silver Shield's seal," and he's immediately.
All right, intimidation check.
He's sweating bullets. He's like,
"Oh, I only got a 12 in my intimidation."
The writ. You could have gotten a 1. The writ, he sees that. And he looks terrified just to see that.
I don't want him to be terrified. Okay, look, save your terror.
I'll step in and play the good cop for a second here.
Okay.
No, Mr. Delusker, we're not trying to shake you down here. We really just want to know if everything is as it appears, or if there's something else going on. I'm gonna try and persuade him.
Okay.
Nice.
Kind of calm him down. An 18.
18. He's
Good cop, bad cop. I love it.
He's like, "Sir, madame, I mean, please, Of course, come in. You can look around if you wish. He steps away and allows you to look, to basically do anything you want within the booth.
I'm going to give just like a cursory look around.
Okay.
While my associate takes a quick look at this place, I'm interested in something else, Lusker, which is, why is this Lady Kean paying your fees for this place?
He looks like even more surprised to hear that news. Like, she's...
You know, Mr. Lusker, you really shouldn't withhold information like this from us.
She's simply my accountant. There's nothing out of the ordinary going on, I swear.
Actually, that is out of the ordinary.
I assure you that my business is not doing as well as I hoped. I've been trying to turn it around, and he's like fumbling on his words. And Tars, as you're kind of like glancing around, especially with your like background, especially as being from like a merchant family, like once you kind of like see all the rest of his merchandise, it's kind of meager. Like, it doesn't really befit like somebody. If this guy is like from a noble background, which is everything is lined up so far that he's like, from a famous family in the city, they've got like a big home and whatnot. But it seems like whatever he's on, maybe on some hard times. Like, these aren't the quality of goods you expect from somebody in his background.
Sure. Mr. Tolusker, be honest. Have you resorted to anything unsavory to make ends meet?
No. I may have asked just for some assistance in paying my booth fees until things could until business picked up. That's it.
Your count in front of you alone?
If you wish to call it that, yes.
Mr. Tolusker, these fees for your booth, I mean, it seems like that shouldn't be even a consideration for somebody of your background and of your ability to sell in such a fine location. It makes me wonder why you wouldn't change other things before needing to pay your stall fee first.
Listen, I'm not. My family has been in this business for many years, and just not being a good salesman isn't illegal, is it?
Certainly not. I sympathize. I come from a merchant family too, and I wasn't cut out for that life. But there comes a time when you just have to ask, is this really the thing that I should keep on doing, or am I doing it for other reasons? I give Imelda a glance,
All right, it's time. All right, listen, Plusker. What you've said so far hasn't satisfied me, so I am going to search this place, and you can better believe that I'm going to put the worst possible construction on anything bad that I find. That is, unless you can willingly give it up right now, willingly. I'll look kindly on you for that.
Please, you can do.
Okay, then. All right, then we're gonna do the full search.
Okay.
So can I do the investigate check on his whole stall and everything?
Yeah.
I sure hope this wasn't a red herring. Okay, I only got a 10 on my investigate.
Okay.
But I'm sure I'm not going to find anything too amazing, am I?
No. Yeah, you don't have as quite a background as Tars, but you can kind of confirm that his wares just simply aren't that good. And nothing. I mean, there's nothing. You don't find anything that seems like illegal. Certainly not illegal.
Well, that was bogus. All right, Buster, you better watch yourself.
Mr. Delusker, I apologize for my associate, and our headstrong approach to searching your stall, but I guess we wish you well. Just I wonder, is there a reason that anybody would be pointing fingers at you? You of all people, you don't seem like the type that would be harassed by anyone else.
I simply don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm just a businessman.
Wouldn't happen to have anything to do with what all that chaos that happened here the other day, now, would it?
Absolutely not.
You don't remember anybody asking you any strange questions about that incident, do you? Or mentioning it in any sort of... I mean, I suppose you couldn't help but hear about it.
I wasn't even present during that horrible thing. They weren't allowing booths such as this during the festival. They only had food booths and things of that nature.
And you didn't recall anything unusual about it from the day before or afterwards?
No.
Well, Taris, I think we got to let this guy go.
Certainly. What kind of stuff is he selling? What kind of...
Yeah, there's bulk cloth, that you could buy, for textile people might buy to make things out of. He has some finished products, like the rug he tried to sell, which it's decent. The rug is nice. It's kind of the thing to draw people in. But mostly it's not. It's like I said, bulk cloth, not finished goods.
I mean, is there anything smaller than a rug for sale that's maybe not just a bolt of cloth? Something I could give him a couple silver for and just buy an item for because I feel bad. I'll buy a little bolt of cloth or something. And
he probably has something that put me out. If you can think of something that both booths like this would likely have.
How about just I'll just buy a bolt of cloth, something reasonable, but not too fancy, not too common.
Sure, something that you could. Anyway, he's got a cape.
Yeah, I'll buy a cape. Right. What's the cape cost?
Oh, it's this one, 1 gold.
I slipped 2 gold onto the counter and thank him for his time.
Says, please send my regards to Duke Silvershield. I will do anything I can to aid in the investigation, but I don't think there's much I can do.
Well, that was a bust, don't you think, Taris?
I do. I feel like we were intentionally led astray, perhaps, to investigate one person while a raid was going on elsewhere.
What was our other target? That was up in the outer city, right? Oh yes. Yeah, it was on that. It was even on the ridge.
Mm-hmm. That might be our next destination.
I think it should be.
Okay. You guys start making your way towards the outer city. I guess I'd like to ask what Jay and Zeal are planning to do throughout the day, if anything, while you're waiting for your bust at night.
I already have a plan that I want to do because I do have my cantrip, minor illusion.
Yes.
I need Virgil's fireworks.
Yes.
Phildry's fireworks. I need to pick up some fire spewers.
Okay. Yeah, they have all manner of kind of alchemical fireworks there.
I need some stuff that spits fire that kind of looks like dragon's breath.
Okay. Yeah, they have. They don't have anything that's going to shoot more than a foot or two out of flame. But yeah, you can find something that like that.
You can set up a few in a row.
Okay.
No cost.
They're like a silver each.
Okay, then I'll buy 10 of them. And then I was going to give Jay 10 gold to go do what he needs to do. Just be in there.
Wow.
Nice. Gonna be sharpening my axes and enjoying myself, I guess.
Okay.
All right. Gold pins over.
There are many, places you could go that are like entertaining, or you could go somewhere where like just have some food, or if you want to, if you're like hanging out like in a tavern, or you could like peruse some of the shops in town, or you could just hang out at the inn and wait by your time.
Just gonna sample some beer and see if I can get some ideas for my
One of my plans
group
is
here.
since they're going to be taking the same path every night, and I know the nights here get foggy. Hopefully that's the case tonight. I was actually going to have Jay drink a little bit, not enough to be drunk, but at least smell of alcohol. He's going to be running away from a dragon.
That is not a problem.
You guys both know, like, even though you're, a dark vision or whatever, when the fog rolls in, if you don't have, even with a light source, you can really only see, 5 or 10 feet in front of you when the fog is really thick.
My plan is to have Jay as a decoy, so hopefully I can get like advantage on some things.
Okay. All right. You guys bide your time. Say it's roughly like noon by the time Tarson and Melda would be crossing the Basilisk Gate. You guys don't have any sort of free pass through, so again, they'd ask a copper. They do say you pass through a couple times through a couple different gates. You guys do find out that, and these booths are like open now. They're not open all the time, but there's like essentially like a month or like a month-long pass that you can get for 1 gold. That way you can just kind of show that as you pass through, and it's like got the dates.
I'm just gonna spring for that. I have a feeling we're gonna need that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like having an iPass or something. Like, you can go in a separate line if you have the pass, and it's just a little bit quicker.
How much was it?
1 gold. It's good for.
Perfect.
It's actually good for a whole month. Probably won't be here a month, but.
Got it. I'm paying for it, and I'll probably give it to somebody else on the way out.
Same.
Okay. All right. You each have your month pass then.
Yeah. So this target we're heading for lives on that bridge, kind of near the guard fortress. But I don't think there was anybody else who was sort of involved in who was asked to investigate this particular person.
No.
Right?
No. Yeah. No.
Right.
This is not a part of any of the raids.
Well, Tars and I are both growing extremely suspicious about these so-called targets. So we'll see what our next investigation turns up.
Okay. On your way there, this would probably be around the time that Dybroth and Zashar, you guys would have like completed your tour of Worm's Crossing, and would probably be on your way. Potentially, they would have like said you could have viewed the sea tower if you wished, and you might have been on your way there. So you guys might cross paths in Outer City.
Okay.
So you guys have anything amazing or anything in particular to relate to each other? You can do that.
I ask them if they've, how their day has been going, if they've done anything important.
It's important in that it's had absolutely no good consequences so far. Like, I think we did a pretty good investigation, but I don't think we screwed up our inquiry in any way. But we weren't able to find any connection between our so-called target and the operations of the thieves. So we're moving to our second target now. He's near the fortress where you were, but not really at it.
She. It's actually a female.
Oh, she. Sorry.
Half-elf.
Is it just us, or are there any other people around? They're all
you're not. This is. You guys could have stepped away. There's nobody within 10 feet of you if you don't want it to be. But yeah, these are are busy streets. There's carts going along. There's people sitting outside of their homes. There are businesses. You can see, maybe, a few hundred yards off the main road, there's actually like a farm.
Okay, but we're not next to anyone in particular, so.
No, yeah, you definitely. I mean, if you choose not to be, you can kind of walk and talk and be away from other people.
Then I'm gonna say 8 bells low lantern, 6 bells oasis.
Thanks for the info.
But otherwise, we'll be kind of on our way.
All right.
See you later.
All right. You guys.
Oh yeah, Zashar. Nice badge. Reminds me of when I wore one like it myself.
Well, I'm hoping it eases my passage.
It looks good on him, doesn't it?
He's make a
Fishing for compliments, Diabrot.
Yeah, he's gonna the shark just turns his head to the side and mimes like he's blushing,
All right. When you guys get to Basilisk Gate, the guards open their mouths to question you, Zashar, and you're welcome to cut them off.
Yeah, I will. I'll say we're going through unofficial fist business, if you please.
I'll step aside and give them the right of way.
Oh, this is after they left you guys, but this is at the
Good, okay. I had my headphones off for a second. I thought he was being all snippy at me. I didn't know what happened.
They are kind of surprised for a second, but they inspect it and they're like, these are legitimate, very well. And
Smile. There, that's. I'm already liking the way this is working out, Diabra.
Huzzah!
all right. So you guys make it all the way through Outer City and to Worm's Crossing, and can pretty it's not hard at all to find out where the dancing axe is. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different shops on the bridge, but this one is clearly a weapon shop of some sort.
Okay, and the person we're supposed to investigate is a half-elf who lives up top of there.
Yes. By the name of Ysra Brackrell. It's Yssra. Brackrell. Brackrel.
And did we get any more information about her, based on that dossier that we took a look at? What's her profession?
It says that she's a sorceress of some sort, and operates some sort of business. Semi-unofficially, she's actually a tenant above there, but has some sort of business she operates out of there.
Is there any kind of sign outside of her door?
No.
Ooh. This close to all the guards, though, that sounds like a dangerous place to do shady business.
Yes and no. You guys may or may not have fully learned this, although Zashar and Diabroth probably could at this point. Well, Worm's Rock is a Flaming Fist fortress. They technically don't actually patrol or really do any of their work in Outer City at all, which even includes the businesses on the bridge. They really just they march through, but they don't really knock on any doors through it.
Okay.
Well, how do you think we should play it this time? We still have this great writ, but the thing is that,
I have a feeling somebody that operates in the main plaza respects a writ more than somebody who operates down here in Outer City.
I agree with you very much on that, so I think we should change our tactics. What I'm trying to figure out is why we were given the names of these people. The first guy that we were talking to didn't seem to have any connection with the guild. He would be richer if he had.
He'd either be richer or he'd be a whole lot more scared of us finding something.
Well, he was scared, but just because we could have ruined everything in his life based on some trumped-up charges, which didn't seem right.
Right. I don't know. How do you think we should play this one?
This time, let's try being honest.
Fair enough.
We'll simply ask her about it. Well, wait a second. I mean, wait a second. Now, if you were a member of the Thieves Guild and some random strangers asked you, by the way, we've been asked to investigate you. Do you have to be a member of them? I mean, she's going to tell us to get lost. We have to have some kind of better pretext. What if we bullshit our way into thinking that we've come here as a customer for sorceress services?
I just gestured my clothes and my rod and everything. I said, I don't think I have to bluster too much.
I've never thought that you had. All right, let's do it.
All right, so there's the shop itself, you know, like you could go in the front door of the shop. You're told that her place is above the shop, and in fact, like to the side of the building, there are like some steps that lead up to the second floor. Do you want to like go straight up her steps? Do you want to go in the store? Do you want to talk to people outside the store?
Let's inquire. You want to inquire in the store, maybe?
How busy is this walkway? I mean, is there
It's
like
quite
an
busy.
alley?
I mean, this is middle of the day. There are, and remember, all carts and everything that go into town come up through this bridge. The shops are like packed on both sides here, and there's just like only room for like maybe 2 carts or like a cart side by side. You know, it's like a 2-way street, and there's like carts pretty frequently coming in both directions. There's crowds of people.
I think. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. That's all.
I was just gonna say, I just wanted to know if there was any kind of nook or cranny I could step into, so when I potentially summon somebody, it doesn't look really odd in the middle of foot traffic.
There's tons of nooks and crannies and like buildings that you can sneak behind.
So I'm going to pull Crowley out of his little pocket dimension.
Okay.
Imelda, do you want to go in the front door and ask around?
I think I will. Yeah.
I'll come with you, but I'm not going to pay much attention. I'm going to have Crowley fly up the steps and peck at her door.
All right, great.
And I'm just going to kind of lean against the wall inside the shop and close my eyes and see what I see.
Awesome.
Okay. In that case, let's address Imelda first. It's a weapon shop, and there's a man behind the counter that says, "Oh, welcome to the Dancing Axe. What can I do for you?"
Wow, your wares look great. I'm here actually to see Isra, though. I've been told that she can cast one mean spell, and I'll make a deception check if you like.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh, it's a 26.
Mean spell. Well, she's more of an alchemist, really.
I spoke figuratively.
Yeah. You can head right up the stairs outside. She's probably home now.
She in a good mood?
Well, I mean, have you met her before?
Not exactly. That's sort of why I'm asking.
She's a bit of a queer one, but harmless enough. Pays her bills. You can. What services are you looking for exactly? I guess it's not really my business to ask.
It might be it might become your business if because I might come back here to pick up some more supplies I need later. So maybe I'll see you again shortly. So meanwhile, what's happening with Crowley?
All right. Did you say you wanted Crowley to kind of like peck on the door, or just kind of
like fly up and knock on the door with his beak? Yeah, okay. I mean, like actually.
Okay.
It's obvious that it's a familiar knocking on the door.
Great. All right. The door opens, and you're looking through Crowley's eyes.
Yes.
Okay. And there's she's not super, doesn't appear like super old, but she looks like aged beyond her years, just like kind of frail looking, super skinny, and really like wild hair. Um, and she's like, "Oh, look at you, dearie. You're a pretty one. What brings you here?" And then she like under her breath is like muttering something or the other that you can't make out.
Well, he's just gonna kind of, fly up out of reach, and I'll tap Imelda. I think we're invited in upstairs.
All right, let's go ahead.
Okay. Well, the door is like still open, and she's like at the entranceway when you get to the bottom of the stairs. She notices you guys down there, and she's like, "Is this one yours?"
Why, yes, he is mine.
Oh, he's beautiful. Come in. Do you have business with me?
As a matter of fact,
we may
I
just.
think you might.
So I'll
Okay, she
walk
invites you
back up.
and it's kind of a mess. Like it looks like various like alchemical like supplies are kind of haphazardly strewn about. There's incredible smells. Tars, you're like want to hold your breath a little bit. Probably both of you do. Like it's a variety of like. I mean, you're not sure if it's like embalming fluids or it's like kind of pungent. But then
Kind of
like, all of a sudden you just smell like flowery, like good smells. They're all just like flowing all about the place.
Okay.
She says, "Well, what can I do for you?"
Well, let's see. Out of game, I sort of forgot what our plan was going to be. Tars, what did we say we were going to do again?
We were just going to more or less see what kind of. I guess we were just going to see what kind of business she was really running here. I mean, if it seemed on the up and up and just kind of eccentric, or if it seemed like she was, active in some way with some sort of guild or opposition to the Duke.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to make. I think. Well, since I'm trained in Arcana, I'm or at least I'm proficient in it. I think I can make a check about that. So what kind of work has been going on here, DM? We've got an 18 on an Arcana check.
Okay. You notice she's got like black stains on her like hands and face, and it smells faintly of might be charcoal and like some kind of salts, like essential salts, and there's all kind. There's what do they call them? The mortar and pestle with similar material in it. You're not, but I mean, you probably some of this looks like probably could be like actually, legit alchemy that's going on in here. It's a little haphazard, but I mean, nothing immediately stands out as like abnormal as far as like being like an alchemist trade.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like almost exactly like a wacky alchemist would work. So I will just say that. So I'll just open up by saying that a trusted friend of mine said that he had done business with you and was extremely satisfied with your services. So I may be able to use you, but I was wondering what your specialties were, if you don't mind my asking.
Well, I can make all manner of potions and dusts and oils. Just it depends on what you need.
Really?
Perhaps, could it be you're here for a love potion? Young lass like yourself?
I am not of an age where I need to resort to such things, my dear.
I was kidding. You notice, like, I have art. I can't really imitate it, but she like mumbles to herself and has like hard to interpret little like sounds in between like her sentences.
Yeah, of course, and I'm also obviously joking with my like mock offended response. So I'd like to, before I start asking some really big questions, I'd like to just kind of bullshit for 5 or 10 minutes, and I'd like to just make a deception roll to do it,
Okay.
so that I can see if there's I can get any clues or any sort of contradictions between the equipment she's got and what she's saying.
And I'm just going to browse the wares on sale as they're talking.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only get a 12 on investigate.
Okay.
Or sorry, it was a deception.
Deception.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, you want to just talk.
Oh,
about
actually, that's a plus 8. So it's actually a 14 on deception. Make of that what you will.
Okay. She seems to trust you and is interested in your business. And at one point, when you're kind of far apart from Tars, she like these are whispers. And she's like, what's with him? He's not one of those patriarchs, is he? Nobles?
I think that he might have a touch of that blood in him. But for someone of wares of this quality, it doesn't seem. Well, some might say that you'd be more suited to a shop in the upper city. Or
I wouldn't want to go
near
those. That life, those fools just living in their supposed luxury. They're not helping anybody but themselves, right?
Yeah, there's a lot I can certainly agree with that. In fact, now that I think about it, the person who told me to find you here said that you had opinions of that nature.
She
how does she react? How does she react to that one?
She says, she stutters. She's like, what is this? Why are you really here?
Well, you're an alchemist, so you must be interested in all kinds of secret information, aren't you? I'm here to propose a trade of information. The information that I have to give you is that Lord Silvershield has offered us money to figure out your relationship with the Thieves Guild. I don't particularly want to bust you for it, and I think that you're probably innocent, and what's more, I have more sympathy for the guild than I do with Lord Silvershield. So that's some valuable information that you probably need to know. Now, why don't you tell me some information that I need to know?
You're here under false pretenses. I think you both need to leave. You have no right to come here and harass me.
Legally we do, but we prefer not to get into that.
Legally? On what authority?
Well, this authority, and I'll show you. Here, Tars. Bust it out.
Pull out the writ, and I hand it over reluctantly.
What's more, Madame?
She spits at you.
What's more, Madame Brackrell, if you cooperate with us, I'll give you a bonus piece of extremely interesting.
I think I dropped out there for a second.
If you cooperate with us, I may be able to give you some even more interesting information about this very bridge itself, and something that's going to happen to it in about 7 days.
Something. Listen, I want no business with you. If you wish to search, do it and be gone.
I actually don't even wish to search, but I think I will have to take a look around here. So, shall I make the investigate check?
Yep.
I'm just going to keep an eye on her while...
Okay, the total was a 6. Rolled a natural 1 on the investigate.
Okay. Is Tars aiding you?
You said that you weren't. So
Okay,
right?
you said you weren't. All right.
No.
Fair
Can
enough.
Crowley aid him?
Yeah,
Well,
that's a stretch.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you kind of like turn over some, some of it's like you're not even sure what you want to touch. Like, they don't have like latex gloves really in this setting, right? Like you're not sure.
Well, really, it would be the proper way to do it would be the mage hand, but I don't have that spell. So anyway, before I leave, I'll just tell the sorceress. Look, you're actually getting. I apologize for bothering you and intimidating you, but you're actually getting the positive side of this deal because now you know who to watch out for. You know that Lord Silvershield wants to find some sort of pretext to wrap you up. I think that Lord Silvershield is screwing with us and sent us in your direction to confuse us from something more important.
She's just like, she cuts you off. She's like, you can stuff your deal right up your expletive. She just starts like flipping out on you.
Okay, well, I guess we're done here.
Yeah, let's slip on out and.
Next time I start being nostalgic for being a cop, stop me.
Deal.
Okay. I guess that wraps up your business there. Where to next? And I guess we're getting close to time.
Should we cut away? So
I think we're probably gonna. I guess the question is: are you guys, or is anybody going to attempt to go to the Low Lantern or the Oasis? I suppose before the bust.
I think me and Jay are not.
You're not going there at all.
No, I have no reason to.
Yeah.
Right, and we agreed that we wouldn't get in the way of the other party's objectives earlier. So
right.
You were instructed to interrogate the proprietor of the Low Lantern, but I guess you guys have.
Yeah, well, we can just say that we can just when we give our report tonight, we can just say that we investigated 2 of the targets and found nothing of any value with either.
Okay. All right. In that case, I think we'll fast forward and set up. Set the stage for the first bus, which was the Oasis Theater. I think that's, where we'll just pick up next time.
I think that we would want to be kind of on the scene for that, though. Wouldn't you, Tars?
I think we should be nearby at the very least.
It would not be at all difficult for, I should say it's dressed as you normally are, Tars. It'd be difficult for you to blend in. The crowd. Especially in the outer city. Although Little Kalmshan does have some finer dressed people. I described before that it's sort of like a little India kind of place. There are the proprietor of the pawn shop that Jay and Zeal spoke with was dressed very nicely, but you don't look like they probably most of the people there are immigrants from a whole other land, so they probably look a different race clearly than you.
Okay. Well, maybe on the way I should stop and pick up at least something to wear over my stuff. Maybe a less ostentatious cloak.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's a ton of shops around. You guys would have plenty of time to go and buy some more middle class kind of attire.
That sounds perfect.
Okay, great. So, Zashar and Diabroth, you have a few hours to do. You probably don't get to see everything in the sea tower. It's massive. You can see at this place. I mean, it has a large barracks. It's a fortress. You can see that they've got trebuchet on top of the towers. They've got this long walkway to the keep itself. You just can like imagine from like a tactical perspective that if like people assaulted this city and like were trying to attack this keep, like tons of archers could like line up on the walls and just like mow down anybody trying to like run across this super long bridge before even getting to the gates. Like there's they mentioned that there's like several dungeons down below. This is where they keep like most of the criminals in the city. You get a good watch. There's actually a library in there too, and there's quite a lot of like the upper level like officers are there. Like there's even like lessons going on about like tactics, and you kind of learn that it's not they're not just a city guard. They actually are like an army that has campaigns in not even just like the immediate area. They have you find out that they have like forts in like all the way in like other countries.
That's interesting. So they do like mercenary work all over the place.
Mercenary work, yes and no. Like one big fort in particular is hundreds or thousands of miles south in like imagine like a super jungly area with like a lot of natural resources, and they've kind of been getting a foothold there to be able to like increase trade, but they're having to fight against like the natives of that area.
Huh. So like weird.
Yeah.
Kind of colonial type work.
Exactly. I mean, they don't want to. It's not so much to like have like people live there forever. It's just to like have merchants be able to go there, get resources, take them back.
Yeah. Exploit the resources. Interesting.
But that being said, do you guys want to? I guess we can break, but do you want to head to the Oasis like early? Do you want to go there like right at 6 the supposed time?
Well, I want to get my team together and meet these people that I'm working with first. That's what I'm mostly concerned with.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, I guess we'll pick up there then. So yeah, you could probably meet them at the sea tower. We'll cover that.
Right, and Tars and I will just so happen to coincidentally be nearby in case anything goes really wrong.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I like that.
That sounds like a good plan.
All right, we'll pick up there next week.
All right.
And I'll cut the streams. Good night, viewers. See you next time.
Sounds good.